Alright, this is Joe again with another review. If I was in this video, I guess I had no choice but to do a video like this. I'm going to be discussing Super Bowl 51. What just happened last night, so I figured, hey, do a review on what I consider to be the most overrated sports event in American sports, and it sucks. The sport sucks, the game sucks, the commercial sucks, the halftime show sucks. Everything about this game is horrible. Because the sport itself is horrible to begin with. And of course, Super Bowl 51 had the New England Patriots, which won the game, versus the Atlanta Falcons, who choked. They choked big time. They choked like the Cubs choked for 108 years. They choked like the Atlanta Braves, who choked for 15 years. For 14 out of 15 years, they choked. And it's really unbelievable. And the thing that I hated most with the Super Bowl was that it was the longest Super Bowl game ever. I think it was about 3 hours and 50 minutes, or 3 hours and 55-minute game, which broke the record for the longest Super Bowl game in real time. And you know how many people complain about it? Zero. Nobody. I'm about the only one in the world who complains about how long football games go. And because the game started about like 6:30 Eastern time, and it ended about like 10:25 p.m. So it was about 3 hours and 55 minutes, which is like the longest Super Bowl game ever. Now the second half then started to about 8:30 Eastern time. So it's like, oh, I can't believe it. And the game went on for another 2 hours after that. It was unbelievably long. And usually the Super Bowl game usually ends about like between 9:30 and 9:45 at night. Now it's like at least a half hour later. If not 45 minutes longer in average. And it's overhyped. Oversaturated with hype, commercials, the hype of the halftime show, because it's like a 25-minute concert by whoever the actors, and the game itself the sport itself is horrible. It doesn't matter to me who's in the Super Bowl. The game itself is horrible, and the sport itself is horrible. You can ask anybody who's ever played it. The sport itself is horrible. Because of all the concussions and people who have brain damage and all that stuff for playing it for years. So if anything, the sport should be banned. And they want to make us billions of dollars on a crappy sport. It won't be even around anymore. I mean, it really is a horrible sport. And what makes it worse is that you had Joe Buck, who was giving blowjobs to his broadcast partner Troy Aikman for 4 hours. It's like a 4-hour blowjob. And he's giving to Troy Aikman. And they go, "Oh, Troy Aikman, I love you, Troy Aikman." Through the whole show. I mean, it's disturbing to watch. Every time they have a shot of Joe Buck or Troy Aikman in the booth, because the game was on Fox, and they were the football announcers. They watched the two of them in the broadcast booth from time to time throughout the game. It's extremely disturbing to watch because Joe Buck is literally giving this guy a blowjob. I mean, it's unbelievable. And Joe Buck should be thrown out on his ass because he sucks as an announcer. Particularly because he always complains, or he's whining all the time about how long baseball games go. I mean, the game is like on for an hour, and complaining, "Oh, it's now 8 o'clock in the East, and we're still playing." And meanwhile, he announced a game that was the longest, or at least the two longest Super Bowl games in terms of real time. A 3-hour, 45-minute game a few years ago, and last night, which is the longest Super Bowl game ever. Not one time does it ever come out of his mouth, or anybody else's mouth, "Oh, this is the longest Super Bowl game of all time," in terms of time. No, not one person on Fox complained about it. And nobody who sells all the Super Bowl champions crap on QVC or HSN. Neither one says, I can't believe how long this game went. It's unbelievable. The game took so long, and now we want a half hour later than we usually do selling the NFL stuff, Super Bowl stuff, because the game went so goddamn long. Nobody complains. But during the World Series, or anytime, even a spring training game, you hear Joe Buck. Well, Joe Buck doesn't do or not spring training games, but even during the first game of the year, you hear a regular season game, you hear Joe Buck complain, "Oh, it's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're still playing." I mean, this guy is a fucking mental patient, because he never ever once complains about how long football games go. He never does, and neither does any other announcer. That's why I hate football. And they were hyping for like 2 months this stupid show 24, which is a modern version. Instead of having Keith Sutherland in it, now you have like a black guy playing a Keith Sutherland role in 24, or a woman, and it's either a black guy or a woman playing playing the main character in the new reboot version of 24. The show was supposed to start about approximately like around 10:30. That show didn't even start till after 11 last night. And you expect the people to stay up till midnight to watch this show? Are you for real? Or is Fox for real or what? They should have if it doesn't start by 10:30, the show, they should cancel it and put it on the next night. They should. Because the stupid game wipes everything out. And that's why football sucks. Okay? Because it took forever. And the commercials were horrible, first of all. Usually, I used to remember when I was a kid, the commercials, at times, especially when I was a kid when I grew up in 1971, in the early years of the Super Bowl, but particularly during the 80s and throughout most of the 90s, the commercials at times were better than the games. Because most of those games were blowouts. Most of those games were like over by halftime, and that's when you had the better commercials during the first 2 quarters. Or by halftime, you had the best commercials, and then after the halftime show, people would change the channel because the game was awful. They're all blowouts, and of course this year, the only notable commercial there was, or at least the 2 real decent ones, or at least the 2 ones that everyone was talking about, was the Skittles commercial. Where there's a kid throwing Skittles through the window, and there's a girl eating them like she was like a seal or something. And then there was another person sat on the couch and ate Skittles, another person, and one of them was dressed as a cop. Or the actor was dressed as a cop in the commercial, eating the Skittles. I mean, that one was okay. And of course, the most controversial. There was 2 actually that stick to Donald Trump. They have different faces of people, different races, and different colors, skin tones, saying we're all Americans, we're all humans, and all that. Just as commercials are sticking to Trump. And the other commercial was the Anheuser-Busch commercial, which of course everybody and that was the only Budweiser commercial through the whole night. It was funny because usually with a sporting event, you throw beer commercial after. It doesn't matter which beer company it is, they throw beer commercial, one after the other almost. And about $5 million a commercial, they cut it down to like 1. And that's when a guy who's supposed to be Anheuser-Busch comes into America from Germany. So everybody's giving him crap. Hey, go back where you came from. Crowdhead, go back to where you came from. And all that stuff. And then he moves to St. Louis and he starts a beer plant. In St. Louis, and it became the Anheuser-Busch company. To stick to Donald Trump. For the game itself, everybody thought by the time the first half ended, the Atlanta Falcons were up 21-3 at that point. Almost a 3-touchdown lead. And then, of course, when the second half started, the Falcons scored another touchdown and they went up 28-3. So it was like 25-point lead over the Patriots. So they figured, okay, the game's over because no team in the Super Bowl era has gone on for 50 years since 1967. And we know this is the 51st one, Super Bowl game. No team has ever came back from that far down to win a game. A 25-point lead. That was like the biggest lead. So nobody even came back. If somebody was like 2 touchdowns ahead, or 14 points ahead, they never came back from that far down to win. Never. It never happened. So they keep saying this never happens, never happens, never happened. So of course, guess what? It happened. Not only did it happen, but it was the Super Bowl 51 was also the only Super Bowl game that went to overtime, which is something that's also never happened. And the reason why it never happened is because the majority of the games, especially the games from my generation, from like the late 70s to practically the entire decade of the 80s, and the early 90s, except for possibly Super Bowl 25. Excuse me, which many people consider to be the greatest Super Bowl game ever, between the only New York football team, the Buffalo Bills, versus the New Jersey Giants, which was like a final score of 20-19, which was also the closest Super Bowl game in terms of score. But this game, it was horrible. True, was the biggest comeback game of all time, and even as soon as the game ended, people were calling this the greatest Super Bowl game ever. I can't say that. I really can't say it. It's not because I'm not a football fan, which is true. I'm a football hater, but for a team that has at least a 25-point lead and blowing it, and that's what happened. They blew it. The Atlanta Falcons blew this game. It wasn't that the Patriots won it. It was because the Falcons blew it. They blew the game. They blew the game. True, the Patriots came back to win, but it has to take the Falcons to blow the game for them to win. Kind of like with the Red Sox, with the when they finally won the World Series in 2004 after 86 years, they got to the World Series because the Yankees blew the playoffs. It was a collapse. They collapsed in the playoffs. Same thing with the Falcons. I mean, they had a 25-point lead for God's sake, and they blew it. And they blew a 25-point because their defense was like I believe they were like the number one defense in the whole NFL. They blew it. They played so well in the first half, and they just felt like, I'm going to coast in because no team can come back from this far out. Well, the Patriots did. And I won't be surprised if news comes out that the Patriots cheated during this game with the deflated footballs, because that's what they're famous for. Because Brady, the quarterback Tom Brady, was suspended for the first 4 games for the Deflategate game for 2 years earlier. So I won't be surprised if they use deflated footballs again to beat the Falcons. Of course, we all know the Atlanta sports teams in general have a habit of blowing stuff. Right, Braves fans? So they have a habit of blowing stuff. Because the Braves were famous for winning the division and nothing else. And the Falcons, there's only the second time the Falcons have been in the Super Bowl in their history. And they blew the game. They blew a 25-point lead. They blew it. They choked. And that's what happened. And of course, like I said, this was the first. You know that eventually there's going to be a Super Bowl game that's going to be decided in overtime. And because the Patriots tied the game in the last minute, I was kind of hoping that the Falcons would win in the last minute and beat the Patriots because of the whole thing. Everybody was pretty much was rooting against the Patriots because of the Deflategate, and a lot of people hate Tom Brady because he has a hot wife and he's so good looking and he gets all this stupid lucky break. He gets away with all this crap and for cheating, and for cheating in games. I mean, and with the Spygate and with the Deflategate and with all this, with him being suspended for the first 4 games, and they won, and the Patriots ended up winning 3 out of the 4 games without him. which was funny. And then he ends up winning the stupid game, the stupid Super Bowl, despite all that crap. And when he was presented with when his team was deployed with the trophy in the end, the commissioner they booed the shit out of him because all the Patriot fans said was that they booed the shit out of him because they suspended Brady for 4 games and wouldn't let the Deflategate thing go. Well, I know haven't talked about one thing yet, and that's the halftime show. And they had Lady Gaga with the Schmaga with the Paga with the Kaga with the Kaka, Lady Kaka, performed the halftime show, and well, this is the first time we actually really seen him perform. I mean, you heard her songs on the radio, but I never actually physically seen him perform because I'm really not interested. Because she is, in fact, a Madonna ripoff. Or she totally ripped off Madonna and everything. And of course, in the very start, when she's on the top of the stadium, before she was holding us in, it was kind of, she actually did address the Donald Trump thing. It was real subtle. She didn't actually say so. She didn't say "fuck you, Donald" or compare Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler, which is totally wrong to do so from anybody. But when she's saying "God bless America," she's saying "God bless America," and the first thing she did, when she stretched out the word "America," that was her little thing that she did to stick it to Donald Trump. So if that thing is replaying on YouTube, when she does that, that's her little protest with Donald Trump. That's all she did. And then when she did that, and when she jumped into the stadium, and she was in the Hornets, she was holding us in. I was kind of hoping that what happened to the wrestler Owen Hart, what happened to her, the Hornets would break, and she breaks her neck and dies, because for doing that, and for hyping. The protest, because originally she was that's what you know. And let me get this straight. I don't want to say wish anybody to die, but if she was using the forum, and it's the same thing with the Oscars coming up at the end of the month. Do not use that forum to push your political bullshit. And that's what Lady Gaga did when she stressed out the word America. That's because she didn't come straight out and say Donald Trump sucks or Donald Trump is Hitler or anything like that. Doesn't mean she didn't really do anything. She did when she stretched out the word America when she opened up her halftime performance. I don't like it when celebrities use certain forums to push the propaganda. Like they've been doing that for the Oscars for like over 40 years now. Since the early 70s when they started pushing the propaganda in there. And at the Oscars, certain celebrities like Jane Fonda or Marlon Brando did that with the American Indians, for the Godfather and all that. Well, I can get into it in another video some other time, and that's how when people used it, either award shows or a sporting event, because you're going to have like a worldwide audience to watch the Super Bowl. Over about 111 million morons watched the game last night, and that's what football fans are, the fucking effing morons. Okay, watching this shit sport last night, and to use it for their own propaganda. But as a performance, I think except for that one little moment, the rest of the performance was okay by me. But it's probably going to be considered as one of the greatest performance ever. Probably Prince is like number 1. Probably Lady Gaga is probably number 2 or something. If they make it like that. So that's my review of Super Bowl 51, or should I say the shit bowl? Certainly the shit bowl 51. Please click on the video. Please read it. Feel free to comment. Please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can catch all my videos and on my YouTube channel at rowdyc.com. That's all WDY. C.com. There's a homepage to the Rowdy Reviewer. Chris Lee Moore. Please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.